the holidays, a time of love, sharing, and recycling. And I plan to share that recycling by making a completely recycled ornament for my dear friend Kelly. About a month ago, I got an idea about doing an ornament swap, but the key is to make the ornaments out of completely recycled materials. And I knew exactly who I wanted to reach out to. Kelly from the Kelly channel. I definitely have found a very kindred spirit with Kelly and their channel and everything that she does. She is so creative, so funny, and just definitely check out their channel when you get the time. She will also be having the other part to this video, which is her take on doing the ornament. So please go watch that right after this one. We both would really appreciate it. I was so excited when I got the email back that they actually wanted to do it too. So here we are, making a recycled ornament. I'm so excited. This is my first collab on the channel. We both have a passion for recycled materials, environmentalism, and everything of the like. It is so important to try to use up what we have, especially as artists and especially during the holiday season. Because if you haven't noticed with the bear craze, the Ralph Lauren Christmas, everything like that, and people buying new decorations made out of new materials every single year, sometimes multiple times a season, that's gonna leave a lot to landfills, and that's not good. The earth is not getting a happy holidays from us. In order to help combat this, recycled ornaments are a great way to reuse what you have, and what you have really could be anything. Here, let me give you some examples. I have this shiny piece from a plastic bag. Recently, I went on another mini road trip and got scammed again. Thank you, Facebook Marketplace, for letting people do this. But that's a story for another time. But on the way there, my partner got the limited edition monster drink. And this one is really hard to find at this point, but I do know that really pretty cans are gonna make really pretty ornaments. And I am going to sand it down, so there will be no sharp edges when it arrives at Kelly's. Random pieces of a necklace that I bent into straight lines. These really cool pieces of scraps from the mermaid costume I made over a year ago now, just a little bit over a year ago. More reflective stuff from packaging. This will be very fun. I do have sandpaper, because we will need to sand down some sharp edges. And these take forever for me to get because I'm not really a big soda drinker, but I do use carbonated water to make bread on occasion. So I do have some pop tabs, which I also plan on using, and this pink one from the Monster can. This is double recycled because this is a paint palette that I made out of the back of a sticker sheet, and that's an extra win, I think. I have all of these cough drop wrappers from when I was sick last week, and they are washed. They're not going to get any germs. They've been washed, dried, pressed out. This, which was also a soda can that I painted a while back because I was gonna make a bunch of ornaments like this, but I figured this one would look extra cool, so we're gonna be using this one today. I have a bottle cap. So as you can see, I have some pretty cool recycled materials in here, but I think the ones that I took out are going to be the ones that I am using today. I also will be using an X-Acto knife and some paint. But truly, it is so important to try to recycle. If you feel like you need new Christmas ornaments or any sort of holiday ornaments this year, make them. And if you cannot make them, get them secondhand. But without further ado, let's get started. The first thing you're gonna wanna do with any upcycle or recycled project is plan. You wanna get a good layout in your head. This doesn't necessarily need to be a drawing or some sort of blueprint, but it can be if you're that type of person. But for me, the best way that I can plan is physically and just moving around objects, finding objects, and the like. I had about 2 to 3 different ideas before I finally landed on this one. So I did ask Kelly what she wanted in an ornament, and I got one request. no red. So we are not making a red ornament at all. There will be no red in this, but I decided on doing a yellow themed ornament because I had a lot of yellow themed recycling, and the inspiration came to me after eating all of these cough drops with their yellow wrappers. And I think yellow and gold is going to look so cool together. But definitely the first thing you want to do once you get an idea is kind of sort out everything. And the way that I'm going to do that is just, you kind of want to just move stuff around. And that could look like stacking objects. For instance, stacking this and seeing, does this look good? And in that case, I actually think it does. And you just keep looking at objects and turning them over. And this goes for any type of DIY or upcycle. And these wrappers have cute little flowers, so we're gonna go with that part of the wrapper. You can stack that and see, does that look good? And I actually think maybe it does. You just keep stacking and trying to see what works. I actually think that it might look better just like this. And you just keep going with that, and you think, would the inside of this bottle cap look good with this paper? So you just keep rearranging things and seeing what you can do with them to really make them stand out and make them unique. Now I know you're wondering, what am I gonna do with the monster can? And what I'm planning on doing is making a snowflake shaped ornament. So this is going to be the base, and then I'm going to have a snowflake piece made out of the can going all the way around. But looking at it, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. This is the part where you ponder all of your previous choices. Okay, I know exactly what I'm doing.
We're going to take this piece that we made, and this is just a bottom of a soda can, like this part right here, flipped over, painted gold and yellow. And we're gonna glue this piece right on there. And we're just gonna put glue on the edges. Again, be very careful if you're using like super glue. And you just hold it down for about 15 seconds.
And definitely make sure to put the caps back on any glue that you might be using. But this is what we have so far. I think it looks super cool, and I cannot wait to keep adding to it. But now we've got to get to the hard part, which is cutting this can. And I would usually advise to wear gloves, but I usually don't do it. But if you are doing it, do it. Don't be like me. Sometimes though, I feel like gloves can cause more slippage, but you're gonna need an X-Acto knife. You can use a normal knife or scissors, but I don't recommend it. And we are going to take this can and do some surgery. You're gonna cut on this side, and a line down the middle. And I'm gonna cut the line right here because that will allow most of the can to stand out. And any pieces of the can we don't use, I'm going to use in a future DIY because I think this can is so cool. You just make a straight stab in and just make sure to go slow and go small. And I do recommend doing this on soda style cans because the tin cans that hold food are usually very thick. And you can do those with a saw, but with an X-Acto knife it will be a lot harder. These cans are very thin and they're perfect for stuff like this. So definitely make sure to keep your thumb out of the way. You can tuck it back like this. And you just cut it all the way around. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And that little last bit, you can either rip off like that, or I actually recommend doing it with scissors. So this part, you don't have to use an X-Acto knife. You can actually just cut down. just be very careful with this part because this is the part where usually you can end up getting cut. And I'm gonna stop right there because I feel like it may end up cutting me. So we're gonna do the other side. So we're gonna do the same thing. You stab. And you just start very slowly sawing through. So I actually really like how the can looks with this. I think that that is an amazing combination. So we're gonna do what we do to all of these cans. First, before we do anything, we have to even out the edges because trying to straighten out this can without evening out the edges is going to be very not good. So you just cut along the edges, trying to get it as snag free as possible. It doesn't need to be an even line, but it needs to be a neat line. And you're gonna do that on the other side as well. And this isn't going to bring your total cuts that you may get down to 0, but it is going to significantly reduce your risk of getting cuts in the first place. And you're gonna wanna do this to all 4 sides. And actually, the 4th side is pretty good. So 3 sides in our case. And you're gonna find a flat edge. And you're gonna take the entire thing and you're just gonna run it down this flat edge. This could be the edge of a table, a door, you name it, it can work. And now it's a little bit flatter, but we're gonna do it to the other side as well. And you just keep going back and forth like this until it is completely smoothed out. I think that's a lot smoother, and it's definitely good enough to use at this point. Looking at it now, I think it actually would be much cooler as a sort of flower. Just because of all of the colors going on, I just think it would look cool like that. So we're gonna take our handy dandy marker, but I am going to just draw a very simple flower. And it doesn't have to be perfect. But that's the flower I drew. And thankfully, I can actually cut most of this out with scissors. So we're gonna cut out the flower. And if it helps to make multiple cuts throughout the entire piece, you can do that as well. And I found that smaller pairs of scissors often work better for things like this. Just because, especially when you're doing fine details, you don't want the scissors to be getting in the way. Or a really long pair of scissors would also work pretty well as well. And for anyone wondering what this tastes like, I have no idea. I've heard that it does not taste like battery acid, so I'm assuming better than battery acid. So just be very careful with this. Take your time. You do not want to rush cutting into metal. And here is our flower. I think that's adorable. And we are gonna save this metal for later. So I'm gonna cut off all the little extra pieces. And now we have this nice sheet of metal. And we could even potentially use these for something in the future. But those go into my scrap bucket. All right, so I have a few options for the next step. We can go in with these. We can go in with these. Or we can go in with these. And I want to do all 3, so I'm trying to figure out how to do all 3. I might use this as the thing that you hang the ornament off of. That actually might look really good. So what we will use instead is we're going to cut some smaller petals out of these. And I'm going to cut everywhere but the brand. because I don't want to feature the brand in this. Even the monster can, I kind of want to hide the fact that it's a monster can. But I'm basically taking it and I'm shearing it right before. So we have nice little pieces that look like this. And I will keep these for something else in the future. And this is good. This is like a good wrapper because the scissors is like that wrapping paper. Like the scissors just glide. And I really like that. I don't know what I'm going to keep the other pieces for yet. There we go. And that's all the cough drops. I actually stuck to quite a small amount. We're going to take these pieces of the wrapper and we are going to make smaller petals right outside of where this piece would be. So we're going to kind of line them up. And in doing that, we can take our marker. I'm using this marker for the whole thing, but you can use whatever you want. And just kind of make a smaller version of the petal. And you can go pretty light with this. And you're just going to do that the entire side. So I've got that one. And you just lay it right next to it. That's 2. And I think I'm going to cut and glue them as I go because each petal is shaped a little different. And I want to make sure I'm getting the right petal to the right part of the flower. And the petals should look like this. So this is one of my favorite art supplies of all time. Liquid leaf. I love this stuff. And I use it for just about everything. You do have to shake it up pretty well first. But we're going to grab one of these paintbrushes. And we are going to paint all of them except for this pink one gold. So with this, you do want to do an open ventilation. You want to open a window. But once you do, you can just paint on. And you will not die if you get it on your hands, but you really shouldn't. You should try to avoid getting it on your hands and your mouth. I mean, I can't help you if you feel like eating gold paint. I don't think you should. But again, can't tell you what to do. I'm just telling you shouldn't. But I just think it's amazing that things can be made out of recycled materials and actually still look good. Like, you can make things with pretty much anything and it doesn't have to look like a macaroni art preschool craft. It can actually have some uniqueness and beauty all of its own. And that's another thing that I could not stand about the whole Christmas trends, especially the Ralph Lauren Christmas trend, is just the air of like elitism it has. Recycled Christmas is for everyone. I think it should be in. DIY Christmas. Use what you have Christmas. I think all of those should be trending. But I think we know why it's not. And these just take a few minutes to dry. But if you like metal tones and you have a lot of DIY projects, I definitely recommend getting some sort of bottle of liquid leaf or its equivalent. You can find them at like craft stores. And this is one of the few things that I will buy new, although I have gotten it at a thrift store before and I was overjoyed to see it. It was like seeing a long lost friend in the grocery store or something. But I have liquid leafed like half of my house at this point. And you can also use tweezers to pick something like this up while you paint it. So I need 4 of these gold and 1 pink because I have 5 total. So we're gonna do the last one and we're gonna glue the pink one on while we wait the few minutes for these to dry because it really doesn't take long. And we also can paint the outer edges of this. I thought it was gonna be a lot sharper, but I don't think it is. I will still do a light sanding on it just to make sure that we do not hurt our friend. Because that would be very sad and scary. Before we go forward and paint this part, we are gonna sand it. And I have 2 of these little sanding papers. I'm gonna go in with the roughest one, which it's not very rough at all. It still is like a nail file, and you could actually do this with a nail file too. But you just kind of want to buff down the edges just a little bit. And definitely make sure that the crazy glue or super glue is dry before you do this. But you're just gonna run it over all the edges. But if anyone is making a DIY Christmas ornament, please leave your cool DIY Christmas ornament ideas down below. I'm gonna be doing quite a few of these this year, most likely, tutorials even, for different types of ornaments. But I would love to see what you guys are doing too. All right, so that has been filed. Now we can take this and our good old liquid leaf, and we are going to add it on very gently, and we're just gonna do the very outer edges. And definitely do this on somewhere that you don't feel bad about getting gold on. In this case, it's gonna be this bubble wrap. And you can do this on both edges. You can also, like, I'm gonna do it on the wrapper edge as well. Kind of just to give it more detail. And I think that's what a lot of DIY projects, like upcycled and recycled material projects, miss, is that detail. I think the more detail you can add to something, the more it's going to look like it actually can hold up as an artistic object. Basically, the less you can make it look like what it looks like before. And another thing about doing DIY projects is, instead of going out into a busy mall and trying to find something that you like, you can just sit and have a moment of quiet reflection and just make something. Also, this is incredibly fun to do with family members or friends. Like hosting like a DIY like ornament party would slay. It would be amazing. You just tell people to bring like their random recycled materials. You just dump everything out on the table and everybody just has a great time. Obviously snacks too. So that is the rest of the gold paint. And you are going to want to wash this off with some sort of mineral spirit. I use Gamsol. And this is definitely, it is a little pricey, but this bottle has lasted me like 5 years now. You use it sparingly, it is worth the price. You can reuse Gamsol, like you can keep it in a cup for years. This actually over here, you can't see it, it's off camera, it's a metal tin full of it. I've been using that specific one for oil paint for about 5 years now. And it just settles to the bottom, the paint, and then you can just keep cleaning your brushes with it. I have these, which have dried now. So we took them from being silver to gold. And we're gonna take these and we're gonna put one of them on each of the little yellow petals that I made. So we have to see where they're gonna glue down. We're gonna put a glue dot on this little tab part. And we're just gonna do it right below where it is. And I'm gonna use this to weigh it down because they don't wanna stick unless you hold them down, and I don't wanna get my fingers caught in there. And while that one dries, because it takes about 10 to 15 seconds, we're gonna do the next one. Hopefully that holds, and then we're gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going around, and eventually we're gonna get this pink one, and that's gonna go on the very top one.
After gluing those on, you're gonna wanna glue on the main centerpiece, and just hold it down for 10 to 15 seconds.
So, this is the flower ornament, and it's almost done, but it does need a little loop to hang it from. So we're going to put that right here, just like that. And this was originally part of scraps from my mermaid costume I did a year ago, but it actually came from the bins as a piece of an old Aquaman costume. So it has been recycled many, many times. And if you're watching this and you want to make ornament swaps with your friends, please do it. It is so, so fun, and you both are going to enjoy it so much. So we just take a dot of glue and fold it over, and you just hold it together very carefully. I should have done this with a different type of glue. This stuff is very sticky. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. And once this is dry, you can take one final dot of glue just so you can put it on the back of the ornament. And I pulled out a lot of DIY, a lot of upcycled ingredients, you might call them, when we started this. But I didn't use them all, and that's okay. Sometimes to have a cohesive look, you don't need to use everything in your pile, but just know that there will always be more DIYs and you can use them in the future. Guys, this is probably one of the best Christmas ornaments I have ever made. I am so proud of this. I had so much fun making it, and I really hope that Kelly likes it. But you can see all of the materials. You can see the colors are cohesive. And I do like the detail of the one soda tab being pink. This is very much, I feel like it's Kelly's vibe. So hopefully I'm correct on that. But we are gonna do this in true upcycled fashion. And I'm going to add a Christmas card made of recycled materials in a box that has been recycled.
So I got to work writing. I also painted the outside of this card, and this card was an upcycled, honestly at this point I don't remember, but it was an upcycled piece of paper.
It's all boxed up. All I have to do is add a shipping label and take it to the post office. And I cannot wait to see if she likes it. I hope so. It's been a week since sending out my package, and it's very cozy around here. The fireplace is roaring, the tree is beautifully lit, and I finally got my package from Kelly. I have no idea what this is going to look like, but because I know that she's very creative, it's going to look good no matter what. And I cannot wait to see what materials she used, because we really did not give each other too much information. We want it to be a surprise. And yes, I am using a pair of tweezers to open this. And they even sent it in a old shipping box from something else, which is super cool. I did the same thing. And I definitely think that reuse your boxes at any point. Okay, I'm so ready to see this. There's a card. This is so beautiful and it's handmade. Happy holidays, Athena. And it looks like it has been glued and everything. This card is so sweet, and it talks about what type of ornament this is, which I'm super excited to open, as well as talking about perhaps a future collaboration. And she put her photography card in there, Sharp Shot Photography. I also am a photographer, so the fact that she wants to potentially do a photography collab in person, I think it would be so fun if we did photo shoots with each other, of each other. So definitely I would love to do that if I am ever in the area, or if you're ever down here in WNC. This is so sweet. Thank you so much, Kelly. And let's open it. And everything was reused, including the box, the tissue. Look at this. Look how cute. I'm gonna give you guys a close-up of this. This is so precious. Oh, I'm so excited to put this on the tree. So everything in this ornament is upcycled, the fabrics, the beads, the threads, and I've heard that even the stuffing is made out of recycled scrap fabrics. This is so cute. I've seen the felt Christmas ornaments and I wanted one so bad. It's almost like they read my mind. All right, so now we get to put it on the tree. Thank you so much, Kelly. This was so much fun. We have to do more things like this because this was super fun. This is my first year having a tree, and I actually got this one last week. I needed to wait to finish the video until I got the tree. So I definitely feel honored that I can have such a wonderful friend's ornament on my tree, especially the very first year that I have the tree. It fills me with all those good holiday feelings. And I definitely am going to start a holiday card wall. I've seen where you string twine and just kind of hang them like this, or with clothespins. I love those, so I will be starting one, and this will be the first card that is gonna go on the wall. I definitely think that anyone watching can do this with a friend at home, whether it is overseas, different states, different towns, or even if they live right next door. But I am just so happy with how this turned out, and I am so grateful. This put me in such a good holiday mood. Hopefully this inspires you to create ornaments that are not only gorgeous and thoughtful, but also good for the environment, resourceful, and sustainable. You can pretty much make anything out of recycled materials if you have a little bit of ingenuity and creativity. So that's it for this video. I have so many wonderful holiday videos coming up, a lot more upcycles, a lot more DIYs, maybe a secret surprise video from one of my series coming soon. Not gonna spoil too much, but thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everybody being here, and I hope that you all have a happy, safe, and healthy holidays. You wanna say Merry Christmas, Ornaments? But I hope you have a holiday just as beautiful as you are. And I love you so, so, so very much. Happy holidays! Come on! Come here! Come on! Come on! Come say hi! Come on! Come on! Say bye!